from tonight.
Jeremiah Love falling to 7 to the Washington Commanders with a healthy Jayden Daniels. 2 years ago, Jayden Daniels was on the precipice of being a superstar. Pair him with arguably the best player in the draft, Greeny. I don't know if he gets to 7, but could you imagine a backfield for the next decade of Jayden Daniels with Jeremiah Love? I think that would be an ideal situation for the Commanders.
D, what I was looking at your notes, you think that's a perfect fit, yes?
Absolutely. Listen, the RPO game last year went down because Jayden Daniels was hurt. And Jordan Love in the backfield, that would be absolutely terrifying. And here's why I like it so much, because the Washington Commanders have been investing resources into their offensive line. It doesn't make sense for me, like Jeremiah Love, to go to the Titans, because I don't think the Titans' offensive line is all that great. But for Washington, it makes a lot more sense, and I would love that move.
Let me put this in the form of a question, though, Dan. I believe if the Commanders are going to get Jeremiah Love in this draft, they're going to have to trade up to do it.
It sounds like there's a chance Jeremiah Love could go earlier than 7. There's a couple teams in front that seem interested, and also it might be a guy that I know teams don't like to trade up for running backs, but teams love this player, and it's a thin draft.
Yes, there's a lot of love for Love in this NFL draft, and we are just getting rolling. Arizona is one of the places
that he will do, and there's been some movement in Mel's final mock. Mel has Dallas acquiring the 6th overall pick from Cleveland, with the Cowboys selecting Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles. Cowboys haven't had a top 10 pick since they took another Buckeye, Ezekiel Elliott, 4th overall in 2016. Styles has one of 4 Buckeyes Mel has in his top 10, along with Arvell Reese to the Cardinals at 3, Caleb Downs to the Giants at 5, Carnell Tate to the Commanders at 7. The last time any school had 4 top 10 picks in a single draft, another Big Ten team, that was Michigan State in 1967. Former Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson expected to be the 2nd quarterback selected in the draft. But the big question heading into next week's draft is where? What round? Mel has the Arizona Cardinals trading up into the 1st round at 30 to take Simpson. Pleasure to welcome in Mel Kiper Jr., really the godfather of this process. Mel, always enjoy getting to visit with you, and I'm fascinated by the idea of the game tape's done, but players rise up boards by virtue of how they test and how they interview in the pre-draft process. Who has most improved his positioning as you understand it?
Yeah, I think when you put together the season and the rare talent, and that's why I projected this trade, Scott, it's Sonny Styles, a linebacker from Ohio State. Now, he can be off ball. He can be moving around. Keep in mind, if he goes to, say, Dallas in that trade, you're chasing down Jayden, Jalen, and Jackson, right? The 3 quarterbacks, and he can do that. All of a sudden, now you got this guy that people are talking about, Arvell Reese. Why not a guy who had 13 more tackles than Arvell Reese and led the Buckeyes in tackles to test like he did on the heels of a...
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The NFL draft is officially 1 week away, and the hot takes are flying. We have been talking about quarterbacks, pass rushers, wide receivers. But Mike Tannenbaum just dropped a scenario on Get Up that would make the Washington Commanders absolutely terrifying. He said, imagine Jeremiah Love falling to 7. 2 years ago, Jayden Daniels was on the precipice of being a superstar. Pair him with arguably the best player in the draft. Could you imagine a backfield for the next decade of Jayden Daniels with Jeremiah Love? Let me show you exactly what the crew had to say. Roll the clip. Did you catch that? Let me break this down because this is the most exciting possibility in the entire draft. Jayden Daniels, when healthy, is a dynamic playmaker. He can throw. He can run. He can extend plays. And last year, the RPO game went down because he was hurt. But if you add Jeremiah Love to that backfield, Damien Woody said it would be absolutely terrifying. And he is right. Jeremiah Love is widely considered the best running back prospect in this draft. He is explosive. He is powerful. He is a home run threat every time he touches the ball. And the Commanders have been investing heavily in their offensive line. That means Love would be running behind a good line, with a dual-threat quarterback who defenses already have to account for. That is a nightmare for opposing defenses. Now, here is the problem. The Commanders pick K at number 7. But Mike Tannenbaum and Damien Woody both acknowledged that Love might not be there at 7. There are teams picking ahead of Washington that are interested. The Titans at number 1 could take him. The Browns at number 2. The Giants at number 3. The Patriots at number 4. The Jaguars at number 5. The Raiders at number 6. That is 6 teams that could snatch Love before Washington gets a chance. So, if the Commanders really want him, they might have to trade up. And as the crew pointed out, teams do not usually trade up for running backs. But this is a thin draft. And Love is special. He is worth moving up for. And here is why this makes so much sense for Washington. They already have their franchise quarterback in Jayden Daniels. They have been building the offensive line. They have weapons on the outside. The missing piece is a dominant running back who can take pressure off Daniels, keep defenses honest, and open up the play-action game. Jeremiah Love is that guy. Damian Woody made another great point. He said the Titans should not take Love because their offensive line is not good enough. But Washington's line is better. Washington's situation is better. Love would step into a ready-made offense where he can succeed immediately. Now, let's talk about the other big storyline from this segment. Mel Kiper Jr. joined the show, and he identified his hill to die on player. His Shedeur Sanders of this draft. And that player is Chris Braswell. 2. The wide receiver from Tennessee. Mel said he does not understand why Braswell is not considered a first-round pick or at worst an early second-round pick. He said, I can go for 20 names off the top of my head of second-round wide receivers that did really well. Devontae Adams. George Pickens. DK Metcalf. T. Higgins. A.J. Brown. I think Chris Braswell will be one of those guys. That is high praise from the godfather of the draft. If Braswell falls to the second or third round, some team is going to get an absolute steal. Mel also highlighted a cornerback to watch. Avion Terrell from Clemson. He said Terrell played like a first-rounder but is currently projected in the second round. He anticipates well. He has great instincts and ball skills. And he did not underperform like the rest of the Clemson team. So, what is the bottom line? The Commanders have a chance to build something special. Jayden Daniels plus Jeremiah Love plus a solid offensive line equals a playoff contender in the NFC East. And if they have to trade up to get Love, they should do it. Because as Mike Tannenbaum said, coaches are about winning now. They are not worried about next year's draft. Next year's draft might be a different coach. I want to know what you think. Should the Commanders trade up for Jeremiah Love? And is Chris Braswell the steal of the draft? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And subscribe if you want to stay locked in. We are building something real here. See you next time. Peace.